Welcome to another episode of the 5-Minute Money Manager. Here's an exercise that I've had my students and workshop participants do. Complete the following statement. Sometimes I feel my financial life is... Some of your responses may be similar to my students, which included, my financial life is a disaster, a train wreck, like a roller coaster, or practically perfect in every way, to quote Mary Poppins. Many of us at one time have thought, if I just had a little more money, my problems would be solved. In fact, the more money will solve all my problems mindset is prevalent not only in individuals, but is evident in the governance of cities, states, and nations. Now don't get me wrong, money is a very important and necessary part of our existence. And there are definitely many times when more money can improve our lives individually and collectively. But money can only solve financial problems. Money does not have the power to solve non-financial problems. Yet, in many instances, people continue to throw money at non-financial problems. Again, money can solve financial problems. Money can't solve non-financial problems. But how do we decide if a problem is financial? Well, this is probably circular reasoning, but a financial problem is a problem that more spending will fix. Some of you are thinking, Dr. Anderson, that definition doesn't really help. An example or two may be useful. Let's take the problem of hunger. If I am hungry because I can't afford to buy food, then this is a financial problem because more spending on food will fix it. If I'm hungry because I'm spending my money on lottery tickets instead of food, then my hunger is a non-financial problem. Non-financial problems can often be categorized as relational, emotional, psychological, social, or spiritual. An example of a non-financial problem comes from my own life. When I was quite young, my mother enrolled me in piano lessons. I learned some basic things, but I had one big problem. I wouldn't practice. Consequently, I eventually stopped lessons. My mother could have paid more money for an expensive piano, paid more lessons per week, or for a more expensive teacher. But my lack of desire and unwillingness to practice was not a financial problem. More money was not going to solve it. I was just not emotionally and psychologically mature enough at that point in my life. What happens when we apply a financial solution to a non-financial problem? The result is confused, that is unproductive spending, which often leads to out-of-control spending. The truth is that you can't spend away a non-financial problem. Trying to would be like attempting to cure alcoholics by providing them with more alcohol. Many people who think they have financial problems actually have spending problems. Consider the possible indications. I may, and I emphasize the word may, have a spending problem if I spend when I'm bored. I spend when I'm happy. I spend when I'm depressed. I spend when I'm lonely. I spend to celebrate. I spend so people will like me. I spend when the Joneses spend. Distinguishing between financial and non-financial problems, however, is not always easy to do because problems often have both financial and non-financial components. Going back to my personal example, learning to play a musical instrument is a compound problem. There are the financial costs of the instrument and the lessons, plus the non-financial costs of desire to learn and consistent practice. The most expensive instrument and teacher will not solve the problems of lack of desire and commitment to practice. Some might argue that they can turn all non-financial problems into financial problems by paying for therapy. But that is a discussion for another day. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.